Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Before You Buy, the show where we give you a quick look with some unfiltered gameplay and some impressions of the latest games. I'm Jake Baldino, and I want to talk about Metal Gear. Now just a preference, I am a hardcore Metal Gear fan. It's one of my favorite game series of all time, so take that as you will. Maybe I'm going into this almost a little bit too critical. But let's answer the first two initial questions I get most about Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. Number one, can players who have never played a Metal Gear game jump into this game because it looks like a lot of fun? And I can say, yes. The story is actually kind of bare bones, especially for the first few hours. And while a lot of the nuances of the plot you won't really understand, you can get the sense that you are Big Boss and you're out for a quest for revenge, and that's about it. Out of all the Metal Gear games, I think this one has the least amount of things to scare newcomers away, because gameplay is the main focus of this one. And that leads me to the other question that most people ask me a lot. So, is it good? And after many hours of playing this game, I can tell you, yeah, it's pretty good. As you can see from the spoiler-free gameplay running here, this game is incredibly advanced for a Metal Gear game. This is a completely new style of Metal Gear game, so if you played one of the previous games and it didn't jive with you, Phantom Pain might be a little bit more digestible, but that's not to say that the game is simplified or dumbed down, because honestly, it's the most complicated Metal Gear yet. But it's also the best controlling and most highly refined one to that, and it's also the most difficult. A lot of the Metal Gear games are known for their difficulty in the stealth genre, especially Metal Gear Solid 3, but Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain is definitely the most difficult stealth game I've ever played. That being said, the game starts off really rough because you're bare bones, you have a small mother base, you have a limited amount of equipment and skill set, and you're tasked with infiltrating really daunting places. Later on, of course, as the game gets better and you develop your mother base system, which I know a lot of you guys have seen, you procure items out in the field to build up your base, you get better weapons and tools to make your life a little bit easier. That being said, the most difficult thing about this game is the artificial intelligence. It's completely unpredictable, and I don't say unpredictable in the bad sense, like it's poorly designed, but it's the sense that it's realistic, and you really actually have to stay hidden in a realistic sense, not in just a manipulate the game system sense. You're not just dodging vision cones. You never really know exactly how far the enemy can see you from. And sometimes they're more likely to freak out when they see you than others. Sometimes they won't trust their judgment, sometimes they will, and they'll immediately start shooting. It makes getting a perfect ranking and doing perfect stealth incredibly difficult, but thankfully on the other hand, when things go to shit, which when I was playing happened quite a bit, shooting your way out of a tight situation doesn't feel awkward, and it doesn't feel like the game doesn't want you to do that. The shooting here feels pretty damn refined, as of the rest of the systems. It just plays pretty damn good. And of course, as you can tell, the game looks absolutely gorgeous. This Fox engine makes the game look pretty amazing, especially considering it's developed for multi-platform. It's developed for Xbox 360 and PS3, as well as newer gen systems. So that's some pretty interesting scaling going on there. And this game looks absolutely gorgeous. The day and night cycles, the weather is dynamic, the world and the environments are absolutely huge, and although there isn't too much to do in them, they do feel realistic, they do feel lived in, and there's always places to sneak around and treasures to find, to build your mother base, which I mentioned earlier. The mother base system is really cool, especially if you're into hardcore micromanagement, because this game gives you it in spades. Do you like menus? Do you love navigating through menus? Well, Metal Gear Solid 5 has a lot of them. But thankfully, going through all of them do actually benefit you. They don't just earn you currency, but they also develop you new soldiers, new intel in the field to help navigating around places easier because your enemies or locations are marked, and most importantly, you can micromanage the manpower that you pick up out on the field to work on research and development to give you new weapons and tools. Once you get to the weapon customization, it's pretty damn awesome and really fulfilling. And that's what I will say about this Metal Gear game more than any other one. Successfully pulling off a mission feels really great. Maybe because it's just so difficult, and maybe because it just requires so much concentration. And the fact that just besides progressing in the story, you actually get to see your rewards out in front of you in your mother base. And thankfully with the mother base, your weapons, your helicopter, there's a ton of customization, which is completely unlike a Metal Gear game. But it's definitely worth digging into to get a little bit more out of the game. The buddy companions are all there and they're really cool. I'm sure you guys may have heard about those talked about in a lot of previews. My personal favorite is Quiet, the sniper that'll mark enemies and take them out for you quietly. No pun intended. But she's actually a really cool character, and her moment when you first encounter her is incredibly fun, and it reminds me of an encounter from an old Metal Gear game. And now let's talk about the big elephant in the room, and the reason I really come to the Metal Gear games, even though not everybody would agree with me, but I play these games for the story. And unfortunately, Metal Gear Solid 5, the story isn't there as much as you would hope, especially since most of the main story missions just feel like you're doing missions that don't really have any overall impact on anything 50% of the time. That being said, when the story is there, they're incredibly well acted, beautifully shot, completely cinematic, really engaging. Not as long, you know, you're not going to get a 2-hour long cutscene like you are in Metal Gear Solid 4, but overall with the characters and stuff, there is still a lot to love despite not much of it being there, especially the first hour of the game. The intro to this game is probably one of the best intros to anything I've ever played, and it might even be one of the better Metal Gear Solid moments ever. I really enjoyed that, and I think for any Metal Gear Solid fan, I think it's definitely worth checking out. And of course, addressing that elephant in the room, that controversy of David Hayter no longer being that famous voice of Snake, now it's Kiefer Sutherland, well, when they give him time to actually talk, he does a great job. Of course, he does play it off very much like the sad big boss. I don't know what happened between Peace Walker and 3 to now, all of a sudden he's just super duper sad all the time. But when Kiefer Sutherland does have lines, they're actually great. And I say that because they really underutilize him. The boss, or Snake in this game, is almost a complete mute protagonist, to the point where sometimes, honestly, it's a little distracting. Some of the cutscenes I actually found myself chuckling because I'm like, why is nobody talking? Snake, why wouldn't you say anything in this situation, you idiot? And I have a bunch of theories about that. Maybe they realized Kiefer Sutherland was too expensive and they can only have him for so long. But there is a lot of dialogue hidden in cassette tapes and stuff if you really want that extra punch of Metal Gear lore that some of us really love so much. Despite that, it does really suck that they're buried in audio tapes. It's a little lame. But like I said, while the story is a little bit more bare bones compared to the other games, it's still fulfilling, it's still entertaining, and you're gonna love playing through it. At the time of this video, we wanted to give you guys some first impressions. I've been playing this game already for 6 days before release, and I haven't been able to try the online modes out, but if there's something really special or really awful, we'll update you guys on that. But that's the gist of Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. I tried to cover all the topics, how the gameplay is, how the story is, people wondering about Kiefer Sutherland as Snake, and like I said, if you could just tell from the gameplay that we're running, it's a lot of fun to play, and it'll keep you busy for a really, really long time. There's tons of missions, tons of side operations, and tons of work you can put into your mother base to further develop all your stuff. So the game just came out, so I don't want to waste too much of your time, but I just wanted to let you know what to expect going in if you're picking up Metal Gear Solid 5. Most importantly, though, I do want to know what you guys think about Metal Gear Solid 5 down in the comments. Let's avoid spoilers, but let's talk about the game. How do you feel about the systems? How do you feel about the story being there, or lack thereof? I'll also be in the comments as much as I can, answering as many of your questions about the game. And of course, if you want to talk to me about it on Twitter, follow me at Jake Baldino. A lot of you guys popped in last time with Until Dawn and wanted to talk to me about that, and I had a great time, so thanks for following me on Twitter. Subscribing is the best thing you can do because we put out videos every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.